$1.49, honey. We have our special guest here, Michelle Petties. I love showing this book. This book has inspired me, gave me the confidence to try one more time, and it's called Leaving Large. She talks about her journey with weight loss and all of the stuff. You know how what we have to go through when we're trying to lose weight. So, without further ado, Michelle has a wonderful topic tonight. It's called Who Inspires You on Your Journey? So, Michelle, take it away.
Oh wow, Deborah, and it is so good to be with you tonight. Because I've been out of pocket for the past 2 weeks, and I just want to say that I
Hmm.
have missed you. I have missed our conversations,
Oh,
right?
yes.
But
Hmm.
we're gonna get back on track. I am I am dog tired.
That's okay. And I appreciate you. I as well am tired, so I just had to kind of wake up and just come on. So I understand it
Okay, we're
happens.
gonna come on. We're gonna come on. And so, this
Yes.
question about inspiration.
Mhm.
The question is who inspires you, but sometimes it's not even a person. It might be what inspires you. It could be
Okay.
it could be a who or a what. But
Mhm.
the question is like, where does inspiration come from? And the notion is that inspiration and motivation, those things they are all tired. They're all tied together. And
Yes.
I would just tell you one of the things that helped me
Okay.
on this journey, and one reason why I have the free Facebook group and why I do the work that I do is that when I was really, really focusing on trying to lose weight, I would I would go online and I would just look at before and after stories of other people
Mhm.
that had lost weight. I mean, people like
Mhm.
I just Google before and after weight loss stories, and I would try to find people that looked like if they were close to the size that I was,
Mhm.
and I would read their stories. I would do that
Yes.
a couple of times a day,
Mhm.
and what that does, it showed me that it was possible. It showed
Yes.
me what was possible, and that
Yes.
if other people could do it, I could do it too.
Oh,
and just
yes.
to, and just to be able to have it is the picture. Some people are visual folks.
Yeah,
I
very
need to
much
see
so.
I need to see some stuff, right? And to see other people doing it, I was inspired by their journey,
Oh, yes.
and that kept me motivated to see that other people had did it. And I'm just like, I got a big enough ego to think, well, they're not more capable than I am. It was just like, to me, it was like learning how to drive a stick shift, right? I got a stick shift that was like my first car out of college that was new, and I didn't know how to drive a stick shift. It was cheaper,
Yeah. Same here.
but what I said to myself was, I see a whole bunch of people driving stick shift, and I know they aren't smarter than I am. So that's kind of like basic for me. All it is that it wasn't something I couldn't do. It was just something I didn't know how to do. That
Mhm.
distinction is not something I couldn't do. I just didn't know how to do it. Once I
Mhm.
learned how to do it, then I did it. But you got to learn how to do it. So it's just this notion of believing first in capability and having an expectation. There's three things: belief, expectation, and desire. That's called bed, right? Yeah, belief, expectation, and desire. And to be able to see that and to see other people doing it, that inspired me. And the other thing that inspired me was to see people who were doing more than I needed to do.
Mhm.
That it's that same thing. Is that if they could do that much, and I don't have that much to do or as much to do as they did, then it inspired me. It motivated me. It motivated me to keep moving. It is just like it's like this. I understand that people fall on hard times, right? And and sometimes it's really tricky when you're out and someone may look like they're homeless and they're asking for money, and you try to make a judgment. Do they deserve this, or what,
Mhm.
or
Mhm.
do I just give and I hope it's okay, right?
Mhm.
And then sometimes you listen to people and you look and you kind of make this an assessment that, well, why don't you just get a job, right? Just depending on
Mhm.
where you are. And what's hard for me sometimes is that um, when I see people that are fully developed, fully functional, then in my estimation, they don't look like they have a sort of issue. I can be judgmental because
Mhm.
I think about, I, I think about my brother. I have a brother that was born with minimal brain injury. He was called an
Mhm.
MBI baby. And when he was born, there wasn't any expectation that he would ever do much of anything, that he would even live on his own.
Mhm.
Well, here's what I want to tell you is that my brother has had points in his life where he has worked two jobs. He
Oh
has worked two
wow.
jobs. He's bought cars. He lived on his own, right?
Wow.
And so when I think about him and what he has achieved with the cloud that was kind of over him, with the
Mhm.
low expectations that were for him based on what people perceived as his disability, and I see what
Mhm.
he and what he does, just because he has desire, just because he has belief, because he has an expectation, because he has some hustle.
Mhm.
It makes it really hard for me when I see other people that I feel like have have more things in their favor.
Mhm.
And so when I see someone that beats the odds, right? That beats the odds, that inspires me. That keeps me inspired. That keeps me
Yes.
inspired. When I see somebody that has had what I think is a tougher road than I have,
Mhm.
and they get it done, that inspires me. It makes me happy because it lets me see a possibility. And so the thing is, Deborah Ann, is that we just have to keep our eyes open for inspiration. We have to
Mhm.
look for it, right?
Yes.
We can always count on somebody to provide it for us, but we do provide it. We do
Oh yeah.
provide it in that Monday night group
Oh
when we do
yes.
that.
I agree.
We do it in the Facebook group. Just even if you don't even come to the group, if you just come to the Facebook group and write something or read what other
Mhm.
people have written, you can get you can feel good for feeling good for somebody else. When you see somebody else achieving, you can get excited about that, and that helps move you forward.
Mhm. I think that I assumed my whole life if I exercise and eat whatever the diet of the day was, that I would get this win at this weight loss battle. I remember wanting to be smaller in elementary school for junior high school. And then one time in junior high school, I don't really remember dieting or anything. I just remember living my life because honestly, I was a size 12 in 7th grade. So it really wasn't. Looking back, I was probably a bigger girl, but still a normal size person. Just looking back at it, I didn't think that much about it. But in college, I remember, of course, going to exercise, and because I was active, I was in band and choir, and I'm always doing stuff, and I had a job. So once I got to college, they had lots of sports, lots of exercise classes, weight loss support groups on campus, everything, in addition to 12 cafeterias. So Oh, I'm telling you, 12 cafeterias on campus. So I'm telling you, I would always or frequently go on a diet. And I just somewhere I didn't know that much about being self-aware until really these last couple of years. So even the diets I did in when I was in my 30s, and I just I like to say that I was inspired by Black history, and I knew that because my parents picked cotton, then whatever I wanted in this world, I was gonna have to go get. I was gonna have to make it happen. So part of that, it included, it wasn't a big deal with my weight because nobody really wanted to admit that bigger people had a weight issue. In my experience down here in the South, down here in Tennessee, it wasn't until I traveled with up with people that they asked me, had I ever been discriminated about my weight? And I said, I never
Mhm.
thought about it. If there was something I didn't get, I just kept going until I got what I wanted. And today I had, and I have said since I've been in this journey that I have to find ways to keep getting inspired. And what inspires me is learning, just like I did in school, just like I did in college. If I can learn something, then I can gravitate and I can implement it and I can talk about it. And that's why I started doing research articles and even just explaining to the people. I didn't have as good of a grasp on it then over this last year as I do now. But when I started reading this research about the medical community and the different parts of obesity and the different things that people who are obese struggle with, it helped me to tell people we've got to give ourselves some grace. We say that a lot
Yes,
because and even now this research with Dr. Mindy, what she's saying is you cannot prosper when you don't speak to your brain first in
yes,
positive way. There is no way that you can speak to your success speaking negatively, putting yourself
yes,
down. And I'm telling you, I've had around this whole last week with people who want to speak negative, who want to be food police. And I've had to say that is not happening on my channel. And oh, you're just being rude and people are gonna leave your channel. Bye. Because over here we speak faith-filled positive words. We encourage one another to have grace with each other because
mhm,
I don't know your future and you don't know my future. Only God in heaven does. And
mhm,
I'm a part of a wheelchair group and I go to the senior citizen center and I'm not that old and I interact with special needs people and I just realize every single body needs joy, needs a can-do spirit. I'm on the bus with the autistic adults. They are going to the wherever they go. And baby, we were singing Itsy Bitsy Spider. And baby, we were singing Scooby Dooby Doo. And they put on the new Mickey Mouse. I don't know the new Mickey Mouse, but none of them had weight issues. Okay, but we had some joy singing Mickey Mouse. And I said, why don't we go back to Mickey Mouse days? Why we can't sing Itsy Bitsy Spider as adults? Because that joy will help us. I've been meditating on this idea of hi Carla, hi Porch Lady, hi Gary. I've been meditating on this idea of what else am I gonna do other than eat?
yes, yes,
But and frankly, if you invite me somewhere, I'm gonna know what we gonna eat. What y'all having?
yep,
So
yep,
because life is way more important than eating. However, honestly, when I talked to Stokely Carmichael and Dr. King the Third, and even Mrs. Coretta Scott King when they came to our school, what they did during the civil rights movement, during the meetings, is they sang because they
mhm,
didn't do the lectures. That was when they went to the SCLC. They sang to cheer each other up because
mhm,
everybody was being tortured, doctors
mhm,
to the maids, everybody having a bad time in the South. So
mhm,
when I think about that, that's why I'll get on here and I'll sing a song because I can't do nothing about the fact that I want to eat up everything in my house except eat it. When I was going through eating all that popcorn and doing what I was doing, when I even right now, I'm like, I'm really, really big. But what I can do is choose to give myself some grace and talk to y'all and share the hope that comes from the human spirit.
Yes. Yes.
And that's gonna
Yes.
get, and I know we love to get on the negative bandwagon. Oh, good, let me tell you about, oh, let me tell you how tired I am today. And you gonna tell me how tired you are. However, Abraham didn't doubt. Sarah, wait a minute. I want to talk about the women because it's Hallelujah Ween and Jesus Ween season. So I'm like, Sarah, the concubines, Hosea's wife, they ain't doubt. Hosea's wife was doing her thing with other people, but she wasn't broke. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, so I can find some joy in this process. And most of the time, it's a terrible, hard thing. Even though I'm doing what I'm doing, it's still hard. It's still uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable. That's why you see me laying to the side. But I can at least put on some lip gloss and look cute on the YouTube, you know? And I can at least say, you know what? I still have a life.
Mm-hmm.
And if I try, I mean, last year after I lost that 33 pounds, honey, I was eating popcorn every day because I was stressed. And I began to tell the truth. And y'all, and I
Mm-hmm.
began to join your group. And I'm like, it's okay to tell the truth. You sure? It's okay to just tell the truth. And nobody died when I told the truth that I was
Mm-hmm.
eating. And I used to be eating during the support group meetings, but I didn't let y'all see it. And one day I just lay here and started eating. And it was nothing wrong with that. But I was really eating because I was stressed. And somebody said, Deborah, put the food down. It's okay. And that's all it takes is for someone to give you a word of encouragement to keep you able to go to the next minute.
Mm-hmm.
Because,
Mm-hmm.
and people say all the time, oh, I'm hungry, I'm hungry, I'm hungry. When you hear people who say that, I bet you 10 times out of 10, they're not hungry.
Right.
They're
Right.
in need of support or acceptance of something in their life. Because I'm
Right.
gonna tell you, when you're hungry, you feel. One time I got hungry, I felt a pain right here under my, like I think in my sternum. You get a headache. The acid is in your tummy, and it burns to get ready to process the food that's coming down your throat. That's hungry.
Mm-hmm.
When little kids walk up to you, not when those that we overfeed, but just like when they're like 6 months or 3 months, when they're hungry, they doing this, and they gonna scream if you don't put something in their mouth. And but there's a different kind of scream when they're hungry. When it's they've had a nap and they can crawl and they're ready to go, so you put them in their high chair. They're hungry. They're legitimately hungry
Mm-hmm.
because when they've had enough to eat, they're gonna stop eating on their bottle
Right.
unless you teach them how to be overfed, unless you pacify them to keep them quiet by putting food in their mouth.
Yep. Yep.
My little
That's true.
buddy, he was 9 years old. He said, Miss Deborah, I'm not hungry. You can't make me eat. I said,
Mm-hmm.
okay, we'll go outside and play. When he want his cuties, he come in the house and get it. And we
Mm-hmm.
can learn from those things. And you are
Absolutely.
exactly right, Michelle. I get inspired. I've been interviewing people who've had the weight loss surgery on Sundays or Mondays based on their schedule. And we have gotten so much inspiration. Just, people tell me I'm an inspiration, but they are an inspiration. There's someone who always says hello to me 11 times a day. That's all
Mm-hmm.
she says. And I know that's because what we're saying resonates with her experience. She don't have to say it, you know. And
Mm-hmm.
it's important to know we can get inspired in different ways.
Yeah.
Different
Yeah.
ways. Sometimes kids or an elderly person come up to you and touch a big fat arm. That's their way. Or they'll say, "Oh, I like your style." What they like is the spirit that we have to dare to keep living. That's what
Mm-hmm.
they like, and that's
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
okay. So you are 1,000% right. But it's up to each of us to find our own inspiration. Because Ella Fitzgerald says, how you gonna have a dream come true if you don't have a dream?
Right.
You got to have a dream.
Yeah.
It could be your
Yeah.
dream.
Yeah.
Any
Yeah.
dream you want. Nobody can take
Yeah.
that away.
Yeah. You got to be willing to dream. Yeah.
That's it. That's
And
it.
the other thing is like the willing to dream and to put it on paper, right?
Yes.
To write it
Yes.
down. You know, I say it all the time. Writing it makes it real. When
Yes.
we put the words on paper, there's something transformative about that experience.
Yes.
Whatever the words are, right? Whatever
Mm-hmm.
they are. So
Yes.
when we start to write them, we can we you hear this phrase, speak it into existence. Well, you can
Yes.
write it into existence. You can think it into existence. You can believe it
Yes.
into existence. All of that,
Yes.
all of that is so possible. But and it's possible, and it's so much easier when you're in a group, when
Oh
you're
yeah.
with a supportive family,
Mm-hmm.
not necessarily a biological family, but of
Yes.
like-minded people that are on the same journey. That they're
Yes.
and it can be just inspiration just because you showed up,
Oh
right?
yeah. Oh yeah.
Just not even anything, not even in anything that you said. It could be, if you know that somebody's going through a lot and they just show up, that
Mm-hmm.
they found the energy to be present. Even if
Mm-hmm.
they don't write anything, if they don't say anything, and if they are in camera, but they're just there. I mean, that can be
Exactly.
inspiring because we all know how easy we all know how easy it is to make another decision.
Oh yeah. And don't beat yourself up if you ate everything in the world. If you come and show up, eventually you're going to find a way to eat that you trust your very own instinct to eat that way. So you
Hmm.
may say, well, I ate this, or I know I'm finna drink this, or I know I'm finna do this. When you learn that it's okay to be the who you are and make a
Hmm.
decision for yourself, and other people are doing likewise, um and you're gonna celebrate that one success by dialing in. I posted in the discussion group the TED Talk, and I also put in the discussion group the contact information, Michelle and Michelle Petties, and you can look at the website where you can see Michelle's book Leaving Large. Sometimes you might not even be able to verbalize it. Nobody's asking you. People, sometimes we all feel like we have to do so much. All you have to do is know that you deserve to be healthy.
Yeah.
You deserve to be satisfied with the way you look. You deserve to say, like I say, my legs are so fat. And, but you know what? I'm going to love my fat legs. Last week, some lady asked me, do you have a blanket to cover up? Because I wear a blanket everywhere because I'm always cold. And I said, no, I do not. Well, you are showing. And I told the director, you might have to pull me to the side because next time I see her, we're going to have a meeting about that right there.
Right. Right.
I deserve to be who I am. And if you don't like my legs, baby, you can close your eyes. But you
Right.
don't tell me I have to cover up.
Right.
I'm a human being, and all you see is what you see. If you look over this way, you're
Right.
going to learn that you deserve to be here with
Hmm.
whatever issue you got.
Right. Right.
And
Yeah.
the more we learn and we grow and get mature, and that's another thing, emotional maturity. Okay, we're gonna do this issue, so we're gonna put everybody, get your big girl panties out, leave them thongs in the drawer. We getting them big girl panties out because we're facing what
Hmm.
we have to face with courage.
Hmm.
You've been working. Oh my, we've been working. So we're gonna work in this part of our life.
Yes.
That's the
Yes.
difference. And I'm telling you, I called and asked the church. I was at church, stood up, and said, "Can y'all pray for me for my weight loss?" By the time I got home, somebody called my mama to report it. Here, where I live at now, I asked them to pray for me for my weight loss. They act like they can't say the word weight loss. Why?
Hmm.
Don't they know? Don't they teach at church that truth will set you free?
Hmm.
But We have all of these isms in our community, in the community, even as women. You
Hmm.
know, people try just come, make a decision, tell it to your brain. That's what I'm learning now. This is the word for the week. Tell it to your brain before you tell it to your body. Because your
Absolutely.
brain can only do what your body can only do what your brain say do.
Absolutely. That's it. That's it. That's why we do all of this work on belief system, because our bodies follow our brain. And if
Yes.
once we change our brains, once we change our thinking, once we change our feelings, and that's why the writing is so important. That's why the talking is
Yes.
so important. That's why the
Yes.
storytelling is all so important, because that's all brain work. That's all.
Yes.
And when you change your brain and you're thinking about this area of your life, it affects every other area of your life improves as well.
Exactly.
This is so critical. This is so important. This piece right here, changing your brain, changing your belief system,
Yes.
and having a fundamental understanding that is writing that does it. It
Yes.
is
I love that.
writing that does it.
Yes.
And when you come to the group, when you come to our workshops on the weekend, when you are in that 52-week program, we do a deep dive in the writing.
Yes.
We do a deep dive on what you were just talking about earlier, Deborah Ann, knowing knowing what the feeling is, knowing what the emotion is, identifying that. Where does it where does it what does it feel like? Where does it
Mm-hmm.
show up in your body? Right?
Yes.
How do you know that that's what it is? How is it different from another emotion? When we get
Exactly.
really clear on the emotion, and we learn how to manage it, deal with it, then we
Mm-hmm.
don't have to go to the food.
Yes.
That's the secret right there. That's the secret to
Yes.
emotional eating. Deal with the emotion. Manage the emotion.
And I want
Don't
you to
manage the
know,
food.
I want everybody to know that when you come to Michelle's support group, you will be respected. Nobody will put you down. A lot of us have experienced ridicule because we were the biggest person in the group or the biggest person in the line or whatever the case may be. Or you may actually be small and don't have a weight issue, but you got a lot weighing you down and nobody
Mm-hmm,
sees you eat. Nobody see how
mm-hmm,
much you eat, but you know that you're eating because you're stressed out. We're getting
mm-hmm.
ready to wrap this up, but if you can please go look in the description and watch Michelle's TED Talk. You only get a TED Talk when you have something inspirational to say. When I was reading Michelle's book, Living Large, and she talked about being at a business conference and really loving the food more than whatever else is going on, that resonated with me because I go to resume conferences. I used to go to 5 a year. I can't go now because physically I can't make it, but I'm looking forward to going. My colleagues who live in Washington and another colleague who lives in she lives in Florida. She got married later in life and she has trimmed her weight all the way down. My colleague in Washington said that when I lose my weight and get ready, they're going to come down here and we're going to go on a hike. I love them crazy people going on them hikes with them wild animals. I said, look here, we're going on a hike that has a trail and it's actually in Middle Tennessee. So they're like all for it. And my coach, my trainer is going to go too. She told me she was holding her baby, climbing up a rock. See, that's crazy. But guess what? I'm gonna do something crazy like that just because I didn't see. I just realized that that's for me too.
Mm-hmm.
That's for me too, and I can dream about it. I want to
Yes.
share what Porch Lady said. She says, and we're going to wrap this up after we read her comment. She says, in the last 4 months, I have really adjusted my mindset and I'm reaching small victories that I am proud of. And I love the weekend writing course. That's right. And Acacia says, yes, you have to reprogram your brain. One has to love self first. Some people can be really mean. Oh my goodness. Look at that.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
as we wrap up, Michelle, give us your
Yes.
last inspirational thought, and we're going to call it a day until Monday when we meet
until
again.
un, until Monday. So my last inspirational thought is just be inspired, right? Be open to inspiration, right?
Yes.
Be open to inspiration even when it's hard, right? Even
Yes.
when, because there are going to be some hard days, and
Yes.
when you can just take your mind back, to those moments, to those bright lights of inspiration, remember those, because it is
Yes.
that memory. It is that memory that is going to propel you forward. It's to not, and not to forget that you deserve this, not to
Yes, you
forget
do.
that you deserve help, good health.
Yes, you
Remember
do.
that. Remember
Yes, you
that.
do.
Hold on to that. That I deserve this.
Yes, you
I
do.
deserve this. And
Oh, I
that,
love it.
right? That is what lets inspiration wash all over you. That's
That's
so,
awesome.
yeah,
Oh, thank you,
that's
Michelle.
it.
Thank you so
That's
much.
it.
This was a much needed reminder that each of us count, each of us matters, and we can get together and we can kick the hell out of this weight loss journey together. Thank you, Michelle. I'll
Yes.
see you on Monday. Okay. Peace
Okay.
and
I'll
head
see
grease,
you.
y'all. Peace and
Right.
head
Bye
grease.
bye.
Comment, like, and subscribe. Bye.